Hello, this is History in the Shadow. Subscribe US if you like our videos. Let's start the main story in the scorching deserts where faith and fury forged nations. Three powers: Israel, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia rise from ancient roots to modern might. In 30 seconds, witness Israel's miracle in the sands, Pakistan's nuclear defiance, and Saudi's oil-fueled empire, plus fresh insights on how their governments and people view each other, and a bombshell new pact that could shift the sands of power. Who holds the edge? History reveals secrets of blood, belief, and battles that will hook your soul. Subscribe now to see the balance of power unravel. The history of Israel, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. Who is more powerful, how they view each other, and what history says in the crucible of the Middle East and South Asia, where sandstorms carry echoes of ancient prophets and warriors. Three nations stand as titans: Israel, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. Born from faith, forged in conflict, and driven by ambition, each has carved a legacy through centuries of triumph and tragedy. But who wields the greatest power today? How do their governments glare at one another across borders and battles? What do their people whisper in markets and mosques? Alliance or animosity? And in a stunning twist just today, as Israeli strikes echo in Qatar, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have inked a mutual defense pact that treats an attack on one as war on both. Is Israel the undisputed heavyweight? Or does Pakistan's nuclear fist outpunch it? Where does Saudi stand in this triangle of tensions? This is a tale of sacred stones, nuclear fires, and black gold. A fresh epic never fully told on YouTube, crafted to hook your mind and ignite your curiosity. Let's journey through time to weigh their might, mutual suspicions, and the fateful pact that could redraw the map. Israel. The phoenix of the Promised Land. Israel's saga ignites in the mists of myth, around 2000 BC, with Abraham, a shepherd nomad who forged a covenant with the divine in the hills of Canaan. His descendants, the Israelites, rose under Moses' exodus from Egyptian slavery, crossing the Red Sea in a miracle of waves and wind. By 1000 BC, King David united the tribes, conquering Jerusalem with a slingshot and sword, while Solomon built a temple of gold and cedar that housed the Ark of the Covenant, a holy chest said to hold the 10 Commandments. Imagine the priests chanting psalms as incense curls to the heavens, a kingdom buzzing with prophets and poets. But empires crumble like dusty scrolls. The Assyrians swallowed the northern kingdom in 722 BC. The Babylonians sacked Jerusalem in 587 BC, exiling Jews to weep by Babylon's rivers. Their harp strings hung on willows in despair. Persians freed them under Cyrus the Great, allowing a second temple's rise. But Greeks under Alexander and Romans followed, turning Judea into a Roman province. The Great Revolt of 66 AD ended in Masada's siege, where 960 zealots chose death over slavery, leaping from cliffs as Rome's legions roared below. The temple's destruction in 70 AD scattered Jews into a 2,000-year diaspora, wandering merchants in medieval Europe, scholars in Baghdad's Golden Age, survivors of Spanish Inquisitions and Russian pogroms. Yet the dream of Zion endured, whispered in seders and synagogues. Next year in Jerusalem, the 19th century sparked the Zionist flame. Theodor Herzl, horrified by Dreyfus Affair anti-Semitism, penning The Jewish State in 1896, called for a homeland. Waves of Aliyah, immigration, flooded Palestine under Ottoman rule, draining swamps and planting oranges in sand. World War I's Balfour Declaration in 1917 pledged British support for a national home, but Arab riots and British Mandate tensions brewed. The Holocaust, 6 million lives ashed in Auschwitz's fires, ignited urgency. In 1947, the unpartitioned Palestine into Jewish and Arab states. David Ben-Gurion declared Israel's birth on May 14, 1948, as Egyptian bombs fell. The War of Independence saw 650,000 Jews battle 5 Arab armies, capturing 78 of the land in a miracle of mosques and miracles. The 1956 Suez Crisis united Israel with France and Britain against Nasser's Egypt, seizing Sinai before retreating. The 1967 Six-Day War was lightning. Israel's Air Force obliterated Arab fleets on the ground, capturing Sinai, Gaza, West Bank, Golan, and East Jerusalem in 132 hours. Yom Kippur 1973 blindsided Israel, with Egyptian tanks crossing the Suez, but Israeli counterstrokes encircled armies, paving peace with Egypt in 1979. Lebanon invasions in 1982 and 2006, intifadas, and Gaza conflicts tested resolve, but Israel endured, turning deserts into tech oases. Today, Israel's power blends brains and brawn. Its IDF, 170,000 active, 465,000 reservists, is a precision machine, with Merkava tanks and Iron Dome zapping 90 of rockets. Nuclear ambiguity hides 80 warheads, a Samson option against doom. Economy, 500 billion GDP, startup nation, with 11 Nobels and cyber giants like Checkpoint. Abraham Accords normalize ties with UAE, Sudan, U.S. Aid tops $3 billion yearly, but Gaza wars and settlements fuel global ire. History says Israel is survival's embodiment, from Masada to modern miracles, turning adversity into innovation. Pakistan. The sword of the Indus. Pakistan's roots plunge into the Indus Valley's ancient waters, where 3300 BC saw Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro rise. Brick cities with baths, drains, and seals stamped with unicorns, trading with Mesopotamia's kings. Aryans swept in by 1500 BC, bringing Vedas and caste, their chariots thundering across Punjab plains. Alexander the Great halted at Hydaspes River in 326 BC, defeated by King Porus war elephants, leaving legends of immortal Alexander. Buddhism flourished under Ashoka's Mauryan Empire, with Taxila Academy teaching Greeks and Indians alike. Islam arrived like a desert storm in 711 AD, when Muhammad bin Qasim's Arabs conquered Sind, building mosques amid Hindu temples. Ghaznavids and Ghurids followed, Razia Sultana ruling as India's first woman monarch in 1236. Mughals crowned the era. Babur's 1526 Panipat victory spawned an empire of Taj Mahals and red forts, Akbar's tolerance blending Hindu-Muslim threads. But British East India Company snuffed it by 1857. Mutinies blood-bathing Lucknow. The Raj redrew maps, rails snaking through Karachi to Lahore. The 20th century birthed a nation in fire. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Quaid-e-Azam, rallied Muslims against Congress dominance. His 1940 Lahore resolution calling for homelands. Partition 1947 was hell. 1 million slaughtered in riots. 14 million trekking bloody trails. Trains arriving littered with corpses. Pakistan emerged. East and West wings united by Islam. Karachi its heart. India-Pakistan wars flared. 1948 Kashmir clash. 1965 tanks rolling in Punjab. 1971 Bangladesh birth in 3 million dead and India's intervention. Ziaulhaq's 1977 coup Islamized laws. While Zulfikar Bhutto's nuclear dream, ignited by India's 1974 test, bloomed in 1998's Shagai Hills blasts, 6 flashes matching rivals. Afghan jihad funneled Saudi dollars and CIA stingers, birthing Taliban ties. Benazir Bhutto and Nawaz Sharif's turns saw democracy dance with dictators. Musharraf's 1999 coup balancing U.S. allies post 9/11. Today, Pakistan's might is in numbers. 240 million souls, 65 youth. Army ranked 7th globally with 650,000 active. 165 nukes. Shaheen missiles striking 2,750 kilometers. CPC's 62 billion links squatter to China, boosting trade. GDP 340 billion struggles with debt, floods, terror. Kashmir tensions boil. Taliban sway in Afghanistan a double-edged sword. History portrays Pakistan as chaos's champion. From porous elephants to nuclear thunder, thriving in storms. Saudi Arabia. The custodian of the sands. Saudi's epic unfurls in Arabia's barren cradle. 622 AD. when Prophet Muhammad's hijrah from Mecca to Medina birthed Islam. From Medina's mosque, he united Bedouins, conquering Mecca, Indiana 630, smashing idols in the Kaaba. Caliphs expanded. Abu Bakr crushed apostates. Uthman's fleets reached India. Umayyads built Damascus palaces. Abbasids Baghdad's House of Wisdom, where Al-Khwarizmi invented algebra.
Arabia FREMNTGPOSTABBSIJ OTTOMINSCLIMINJSUZEZINT.
Wahhabism ignited in 1744. Muhammad ibn Abd al-Wahhab allying with ibn Sa'd. Their raids purifying faith with fire. Abdulaziz al-Sa'd, ibn Sa'd, rose from Riyadh Desert in 1902, conquering with Ikhwan warriors, unifying Hijaz, Najd by 1932. Oil gushed at Dammam 1938, transforming camels to Cadillacs. King Faisal's 1973 embargo quadrupled prices, funding mosques worldwide. 1979 Mecca siege shaken zealots. Saddam's 1990 Iraq invasion brought U.S. boots. Arab Spring 2011 spared Saudi. MBS's 2017 rise slicing rivals, lifting women's drive ban. Yemen War 2015 showed muscle, but quagmires linger. Today, Saudi's clout is oil and faith. 1.1 trillion GDP. 17 global reserves. Aramco pumping 12 million barrels daily. 250,000 troops. F-15s from U.S. deals. Vision 2030 builds NOM. 500 billion Mirage City. Mecca custodianship sways 1.9 billion Muslims. Hajj hosting millions. Khashoggi 2018 stains. Reforms clash conservatives. History crowns Saudi resource royalty. From Muhammad's sword to Faisal's pump, faith fuels fists. Eyes across the desert. How governments and people view each other. Power isn't just tanks. It's trust, tension, and the gaze between rivals. Let's peer into the minds of leaders and masses. Israel's government sees Pakistan as a distant threat. No ties since 1948. Pakistan's Palestine support and nukes alarm Tel Aviv. Netanyahu called Pakistan no enemy in 2018, hoping for normalization via Saudi pressure. On Saudi, Israel eyes alliance. Secret ties since 2015. Shared Iran fears fuel Abraham hopes. May 2025 poll shows 60 Israelis back Saudi normalization. Public. Israelis warm to Saudi reforms, seeing a modern partner. Pakistan evokes Indian-like suspicion. Its anti-Israel stance a barrier. Pakistan's government glares at Israel as Palestine's persecutor. No recognition till two-state. Netanyahu branded terrorist in 2024. Saudi? Ironclad brother. Decades of arms, pilgrimage ties. Now this pact. Public opinion mirrors. Anti-Israel fervor runs deep. Protests rage over Gaza. Saudi adored as faithful ally. Its oil aid a lifeline. Rare Pakistani visits to Israel spark furor. Challenging narratives. Saudi's government views Israel with cautious covertness. Public slams Netanyahu's Greater Israel in 2025. Rejecting Palestine hosting on Saudi soil. Yet backchannels thrive. Iran foes aligning interests.
Pakistan?
Steadfast shield. Long defense pacts. Nuclear umbrella now formalized. Public. Vehemently anti-Israel. Textbooks erase it as Zionist entity. Gaza protests swell. Pakistan evokes brotherly pride. Shared Sunni bonds and pilgrimage ties. Arab Barometer 2025 shows normalization support plummet. In this triangle, Israel looms heavy on both via tech and U.S. backing, but Pakistan's nukes and manpower outweigh Israel in raw force. No direct clash, but shadow boxing via proxies. Saudi stands as the pivot. Wealthy mediator, anti-Israel public curbing ties. Yet Pakistan Pact signals defense against aggressors, like Israel post-Qatar strike. The Bombshell Pact. Saudi-Pakistan shield against the storm just hours ago. As Israeli missiles rained on Qatar, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Pakistani PM Shehbaz Sharif inked a strategic mutual defense pact in Riyadh. Any aggression against either shall be deemed against both. IT declares, strengthening decades of arms deals and joint drills. Pakistan's nukes now back Saudi's oil fields. Saudi funds bolster Islamabad's troops. Timing? A signal to Israel amid Iran tensions and Gaza fury. Deal signed days after Doha strikes. Imagine the geopolitical ripple. A Sunni nuclear umbrella over Arabia. Checking Tel Aviv's reach. Weighing the scales. Who stands tallest? Break it down, history as judge. Military might. Pakistan's 1.2 million personnel and 165 nukes edge Israel's precision. 635K total. 80 warheads. Saudi's 250K rely on U.S. gear. Yemen weaknesses exposed. Edge. Pakistan. Economic firepower. Saudi's 1.1 T GDP and 700B fund crush Israel's 500B tech boom and Pakistan's 340B struggle. Edge. Saudi. Tech innovation. Israel's cyber spikes and drones lap others. Pakistan's JF-17 promising. Saudi's NEOM aspirational. Edge. Israel. Diplomatic sway. Saudi's Mecca clout trumps. Israel's U.S. tie and accords close in. Pakistan's China-Afghan leverage solid. Edge. Saudi. Resilience. Israel's miracles top. Pakistan's chaos survival second. Saudi's oil stability third. Edge. Israel. Verdict. No absolute heavy. Israel dominates quality over both. Pakistan's quantity and nukes weigh heavier on Israel in conventional tally. Saudi stands as wealthy wild card. Pact tilting toward Pakistan alliance. A Sunni bulwark against Israeli shadows. History whispers. Alliances shift like dunes. As desert winds carry prophets' echoes. These nations prove power is endurance's blade. Which gaze? Government's cold stare or people's passionate whisper? Hooks you. Israel's miracle. Pakistan's fury? Saudi's gold? The Pact's promise or peril? Share below. Subscribe US for more shadowed sagas. Where history breathes and legends roar.